Have you seen the news on the real estate market lately and wondered how things are affected across the nation? Has anyone you talk to mentioned anything about moving to a different city? Today's market is choppy and it is important to know how to navigate through it. The best way to do so is talking to a local expert real estate agent. So, what are markets like across the United States? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Moving to Milwaukee. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Today, I'm going to continue my expose of other markets throughout the country. Last month, I went to Las Vegas for a convention and met some amazing fellow agents, as well as a number of friends that I know in other cities. I interviewed a handful of agents who were happy to share their own experiences and answer questions about other markets. And the reason I'm doing this is because I get business from many people relocating to Milwaukee area, as well as in making investments in Milwaukee. And people always need to move and don't know what things will be like across state lines. So the saying goes, the grass ain't greener on the other side, and in more ways than one, this is definitely true. Today, I want to cover what challenges people are facing in today's market. And I don't just mean agents, I mean buyers and sellers as well. Some ways things are generic in the real estate market as a whole, but this is to give more of a perspective on other areas, as things can be different in some places that we don't know about. So I want to start with my market and talk about what challenges people face over here. The biggest thing in the Milwaukee market is that there is currently a lack of inventory. Many people are looking for a great home at an affordable price, and when most listings come in the market now, these days, they can go fast. They can leave a lot of buyers fatigued, and many of them which will be forced to go back to the drawing board or possibly even have to sign a lease and rent for a little while, depending on their situation. And for sellers, many will think they can get a crazy amount of return on investment for their home, which in some ways this can be true, but often the question, what would you like to get out of this house, is a simple question with an often laughable answer. Pricing the home is everything in the real estate market, and if you do not price it accordingly, the listing will sit and go stale after just a week or two, and buyers who would have bought are going for the next best thing. Above all, competition is still very much fierce, and some areas are still red hot throughout the southeast Wisconsin market. As an agent, I always advise my clients on how things are, no matter how great or ugly it may seem, and this is to prepare them for their journey ahead in the buying or selling process. By the way, I'm your host, William Loos, the local agent out of Milwaukee and southeast Wisconsin. If you're looking at Milwaukee as a new place to live, give me a call. I'll answer these and any other questions you might have about the area. Looking forward to meeting you and showing you around. So what are people across the nation facing when it comes to challenges? Let's find out together.
Oof. So I've heard that boards are really starting. Okay, so in New York City, we have boards that have to approve people in order to purchase in the buildings. And so I've heard, we have not had any turn downs yet, on wood if we find it. But I've heard that boards are just getting more specific and kind of tightening up on who they're letting into buildings, probably just based on financial packages. I think that's probably one of the biggest problems. Also, I would say we have low inventory. People feel like we have low inventory. Historically, this is not true. I think we just have a lack of maybe good inventory, right? What people want to buy. Yeah.
So, what sort of challenges do you and buyers and sellers face in today's markets?
I think like most people, affordability. With first-time home buyers, it's tough. Obviously, the prices are going up. Things are more expensive for sure. So I really love partnering. I've got a couple of really great lenders that are just always about keeping up with the newest products, different ways to help people get into homes. Obviously, people, have all sorts of different situations. So I think a lot of times people think that they have to still have 20% down for a home. And obviously that's not the case, but you don't know what you don't know. And then there are a ton of like down payment assistance programs. There are a lot of options. I think a lot of times people think that it's only for someone, maybe a first-time home buyer or lower income. And really, there are a ton of programs, but you have to know where to get that information, or you have to know who to go to. So I really, really love just like leaning into my partners that are all about staying educated with everything.
Sure. Okay.
What about any sort of challenges that you face as an agent, or maybe your buyers and sellers face? Anything you can highlight there?
So just recently, I'm having a lot of people who are first-time home buyers rather, and as well as business owners who just start the business. So as you kind of know, you have to have 2 years of tax returns. So that's posing a challenge. So I have to reach out to some creative mortgage professionals who have some products for that. So there's ways around it. There's always a solution.
All right. Okay.
Oh, geez. Well, it's always easier. It's easier for buyers right now because it's a buyer's market versus sellers.
Obviously.
You have to price it right as a seller. Some of the challenges that we're having right now really falls more into the condo market. Some of you may or may not have remembered there was a condo collapse on the East Coast over in the Miami area a couple of years ago, and that prompted a lot of new laws and rules. And where I live, on Southwest Florida, there's a lot of condos on the beach. So so this is all good stuff, but it's affecting the different condo communities because they have to have structural they have to inspect more thoroughly. So it's all good.
Sure.
We don't need any more collapses, but
ideally it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
have.
good, but it's
Correct.
just making sure that all that new documentation is done and correct, and that everyone feels safe. So
Sure. Yeah. That's a good point, and that's what's important.
yes,
Definitely.
That's the standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sort of challenges do you face, not just you as an agent too, but maybe as buyers and sellers that you're facing today?
Probably the getting buyers that are in the lower income level qualified, and then finding a house, and if they have to use FHA, finding a home that will pass the appraisal process. And so that's kind of the biggest challenge right now.
It's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what sort of challenges do you face in the current market, or do some buyers and sellers face as far as any challenges or obstacles per se?
Yeah, so mostly what I've been seeing, as you know, I sold 78 homes this past year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So mostly what I've experienced is a lot of resale has been sitting on the market because sellers are still in the mentality they want to get top dollars for it, whereas builders are being aggressive in marketing under market value. When a builder is coming next, in an area where you can drive 5-10 minutes and you find a builder that can sell their house at $300,000 and the seller is selling at $300,000, who do you think they're going to go to? If you were a buyer, who you're going to go to? The builder is offering low interest rates. The interest rate today is 7%. The builders are offering 3 to 4 to maybe 5 interest rate for $499, and then they're offering you warranties for different kind of warranties. And you're getting a new home never lived in. Whereas resale, is not going to be able to offer that. You're not going to be able to interest rate, which means your buying power goes down, and then also you don't get the warranties. Resale has its own thing. Advantages, but also has so buyers are gravitating towards new construction. Why new construction are doing that? Because as a company, new construction, they're losing money if they keep the house that's finished on the market. So they need to unload. Whereas seller doesn't have that much of the pain. So they're willing to keep it a little bit longer. But there is no way we can compete with them. So what we've been noticing, homes have been sitting on the market, an average home has been sitting on the market over 4 months now, between 3.5 to 4 months on the market.
Right. Wow.
So in general, what I say, the struggles has been inventory is piling up. And I've been advising sellers, but as you know, we're agents, we can only advise the sellers, and at the end of the day, it's their home. We have to guide them through the process. We're advising sellers to look into that and help them see, hey, you know what, if you are ready to sell, you need to market it competitively. We can't compete with new construction, at least competitively with what's going on around us in new construction.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I think that many might say the same thing because of interest rates. So as soon as April 2022 hit the market, we saw everybody start to pull back on values or purchases. So that changed how folks were able to sell, longevity on market, affordability. And so I would say that where we sit right now, I think people have normalized the fact that rates are where they are. And so now they're making new plans to move. And so we've had an uptick of more buyers coming back in the market, thank goodness. However, we had an uptick of inventory as well. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Would you consider that a good prediction as far as in the next like 6 to 18 months down the road for your markets?
Well,
Recently?
we've got about 19,000, just in Scottsdale where I am, 19,000 rentals that are being built right now. So we're doing a lot of build to rent apartments. So that's going to be an interesting thing. They must have projections that our population is growing. So I think if we get those renters coming in, they'll turn into buyers. So whether or not that's a 2026 projection, we'll see. But if they come in to rent for a year, it'd be nice to see them be buyers in the
It could be
near
some
future.
good long-term business
Yes.
goals and could really produce a nice income stream of clients for you.
Exactly. Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. It seems like a lot of issues stem from the inventory and more so the volatility of interest rates. Now, these are out of our control as agents as well as us as consumers, and plenty of factors do come into play when it comes to these rates. Now, I'll do a separate video on this topic soon because as we approach the spring market, it is important for you to be prepared. And if you're more curious about these areas or somewhere else that I did not cover, reach out to me today. I am connected to many different agents that I partner with throughout the country and even around the world. I have a first-hand insight into different places and would be happy to connect you. If you liked this video or found it helpful, hit like and subscribe at the bottom to stay in the loop for when I release new content. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.